Hi everyone, welcome to JEDi episode 16. My name is Jimmy and with me today are Ethan and David. For those of you who tune in to our Facebook Live for the first time, and if you want to know more about us and the name JEDi, do check out our first episode in the video section. I'll be the moderator for this episode, so here's how we'll run through. Firstly, Ethan and David will be having a fireside chat on investments part 5. And then I will cover the bonus section on Forex trading 101. Then last but not least, we'll have a Q&A section. So feel free to post your questions in the comment section and we will address them during the Q&A section. So without further ado, I'll let Ethan start the ball rolling. Ethan?
Okay, so hi everyone, I'm Ethan, the founder of PolicyWoke. So today there was no questions for the previous episode, so we'll be jumping straight into the content that we have. So we'll be talking about what is foreign currency, so why does it even matters when we are doing investing, and how it can actually potentially or even affect us already. So let's go on. So what is foreign currency? So basically, they are actually just different currencies used in the world. So they are actually backed by their respective governments and their respective monetary authorities. So the more common ones are like USD, RMB, Euros, Hong Kong dollar, and even our own SGD. So there's also actually a market to trade the use of all these currencies. So you can just think of it like, okay, when you need to go traveling, yeah, you maybe want to go to Malaysia, so you need to change Sing dollar to ringgit. Yeah. So there is actually a market that actually supports this whole system for this. So it is actually used in the country for exchange of goods. So basically it's to buy and sell. So there are actually some closed markets like Vietnam, Myanmar, or even sanctioned countries. So these are actually difficult to obtain a market rate, especially if you want to change your money to their currency. So banks typically help to facilitate and work with the central monetary authority based on the market demands. So we do have some very interesting features from a lot of fintechs, for example, like TransferWise or Revolut, or even Aspire, which actually works with TransferWise to do this. Okay. So why does it actually matters when we are doing investing? Yeah, so maybe David, you'd like to share a bit. Why do you think it actually matters when we are doing investment?
Okay, sure. Like recently, the US dollar has been going down, and most people, when they invest, they want to invest in the US markets. So they might find that now is a good time to exchange Sing dollar to US dollar, and then to invest it. Of course, you don't have to invest everything now because right now the market is still at its all-time high. So you can phase your investment in maybe 10%, 20%. You don't have to put everything in. But now is a good time to get some US dollar because it's considered cheaper. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, David.
I think it's not just US dollar. It's not just investing, right? Because I think some people use U-Trip as a way to exchange money. So if you have Sing dollar and you plan to travel around, or you plan to use those websites that like say Wix.com, you have to pay in US dollar. So you need to pay for some services in US dollar. So it's also a good time to exchange Sing dollars to US dollar now. Yeah.
Understand. Okay. So why do Forex matters in investing? So companies typically import and export goods. So to be of value, it has to be traded in either the home currency or the overseas currency. So there is actually this currency exchange that plays a part in all this, and excessive loss can even result in loss even with gains. So why actually David just brought up about, like, let's say you are going to pay for a week subscription that is USD denominated. And even for us, I think most of us do this. We go to Taobao or even EasyBuy just to buy China goods to deliver to Singapore. So that can also result in quite a bit of fees, especially when we transfer money from SGD to renminbi or USD. And point four, I'm going to expand more on this. Okay, so remember there was actually a time whereby endowments, second-hand endowments, were sold in Singapore. That is like in the 2000s. So these are actually Great British Pound endowment second-hand policies. And at that time, if you look at the chart that is actually here, yeah. So most people will have bought those endowments during this period. So let's say, for example, you bought 100K Great British Pound endowment. Then you use 300K of Sing dollar, and at that time it's 3:1. So you bought this, let's say, really fantastic endowment. It's giving you 5% returns for 10 years. So let's say jump forward to 5 years. So it's between this period. Yeah. So you can see that, okay, you make 162K in Great British Pound. Yeah. But when you transfer the whole thing back to SGD, at that point in time, it's actually 1:2 already. So for every $1 of Great British Pound, you only get back $2 of SGD. So if you look at this, you're only getting back 324K. So you just make a miserly gain of 24K. And if you translate that to annual returns, right, it's only 0.773%. So you can see that actually currency risk is very, very true in this case. So
this reminds me,
yeah, sure.
about 10 years ago, I changed to Sing dollars to Great British Pounds for travel purposes. So it was about 2.05 at that time.
Yeah. So if you travel now, it's only 1.8 if I'm not wrong. So it's a 10% discount.
Yeah,
but
last
if
time
you look
it
at
was difference between 3 and 2 was 33% discount.
Correct. So it's pretty hard if you look at it in that sense. So how does it affect us in the grand scheme of things? So like what we say, Singapore is a globalized city. So we actually import and export a lot of items really. I think even for our eggs, right, it can come from Malaysia, it can come from Brazil. If you look at all the other items like our chai sin, even our coconut, it can come from Thailand. So you know that Thai baht has actually appreciated a lot against Sing dollar. So when I look at my coconut that I wanted to buy, last time it was only like $1.50. $1. Now it's like $1.50 just for one. Yeah. So it does make sense that our cost of the actually tied to all these acquisition costs when you buy and sell, when you buy for overseas, and even when we sell it to others. So you have to understand that better or stronger economies typically there's more use of their currency, and that in turn reduce the supply that you can get because the money needs to move. Then in turn, this will actually result in a better currency strength typically. So that is also how we can actually time a bit of the acquisition cost. So you have to think, okay, will you think? I think this also even affects all the commodities. I think it will be elaborated further later. Yeah. So David, maybe you can share a bit more about what other uses for currencies that we have in Singapore? I think for one, actually MAS do have a lot of hedge for all these.
For me, I I look at because I use this MCO card, so it's denominated in US dollar, so the cashback is also in US dollar. So when US dollar goes down, it means that I need to put in, as in I can get more, in a sense I can get more cashback. So instead of putting in $700 to get 70 Sing dollars cashback, I put a bit more to get a bit more cashback.
Yeah. Oh, is it because MCO is denominated in USD?
The cashback is a fixed 50. Sorry, actually the cashback is a fixed 50 USD. So
Mm-hmm.
technically, you need to spend less to get the same 10% cashback. Yeah.
So which means our cashback in SGD limit got a hit lah in this case.
Reduce slightly. Yes. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I think MLSF also hedges currencies because we do not literally just print our money based on this. So you can see that actually, even if we are laymen, there are actually a lot of things that affect us. It's just that it's invisible or it's just in the form of fees that we see very,
Our
very.
currency is a basket of funds, so we just peg ourselves to the uh, global economy. Yeah.
Mm, mm. Yeah. So thank you, David. We have finished our fireside chat. Yeah, Jimmy, on to you.
Okay, thanks Ethan and David for the fireside chat. So now let's move on to the bonus section on Forex Trading 101. So I would like to first put a disclaimer, and that is I personally went for a trading course, and as part of the trading course attendance, I have signed a non-disclosure agreement that I cannot share any proprietary trading strategies that they taught. So for this trading 101, I'll only be sharing the very basics of Forex trading that you could have easily find this online on the internet, right? And the purpose of this bonus session is to summarize whatever you have encountered on the internet if you have browsed through the internet on all this content before. Okay, so for this bonus, it's mainly for those who are new to Forex trading, or if you have browsed the internet for these such materials before and you want to have a more summarized content about trading in general. Okay, so now let's move on. Okay, so what is Forex? So Forex is actually a short form for foreign exchange market. Yeah, basically it's a market whereby you can exchange one currency with another currency. Yeah, so in other words, when you trade Forex, when you are essentially buying one currency and sell another currency concurrently, right? So what do I mean by that? So let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so before I move on to what you mean by buy one and another one, sell another one. So there are a total of 8 commonly tradable currencies in the market. So they are the US dollar, the euro, the pound, the Swiss franc, the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar, and the Japanese yen. Okay. And then just a little bit more in depth, some of you may have heard that the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, and the Canadian dollar are also known as the commodity currencies. And this is because the currencies are associated with the respective countries exporting commodities. Okay. And then whereas the Swiss franc is a pretty interesting currency for trading because on one hand, it behaves closely with the euro, meaning to say sometimes it moves in the same direction as the euro, whether it appreciate or depreciate. and in other times it moves pretty similar to the Japanese yen as a safe haven currency. Yeah. Sorry. Speaking of Japanese yen, Japanese yen is also known as a safe haven currency. Why is that so? So normally, if you are also someone who is familiar with the stock market, so whenever the stock market goes up, sometimes the Japanese yen will depreciate. And then inversely, when the stock market goes down, the Japanese yen sometimes will appreciate. Yeah. So why is this so? Well, there's a long story behind this that there's no time for this episode. So later slide, I will share with you the resources on where to find all this information. Right. So now let's move on to the next slide. So how are these currencies traded? Is traded in pairs. So previously I mentioned that there are 8 commonly traded currencies, and then from the 8 you just choose 2 to form a pair. So there are a total of 28 pairs. So like for example, the euro against the US dollar and the US dollar against the Japanese yen as the 2 mentioned example. And when you trade them, you trade in a single order direction only. So meaning to say, when there is euro US dollar available to trade, you will not find the opposite direction. You won't find the US dollar euro to trade. This is due to the legacy systems that they have in place. Yeah. So don't ask me why. Again, why is this? Why only this direction? You will find more resources in a later slide, right? So now, so for the benefit of doubt, the Singapore dollar, the home currency that we have, is called the exotic currency, meaning to say it's not a commonly traded currency. So similar to other currencies like the Malaysia ringgit and the Indonesia rupee, these are also called exotic currency, not commonly traded. Right. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so how is traded? So you normally either buy or sell. Right? So when you buy euro US dollar, again as a pair, you buy euros and sell US dollar concurrently. Okay. So similarly, if you sell US dollar Japanese yen, you essentially sell US dollar and buy Japanese yen at the same time. Okay, so how you buy and sell? You buy and sell in lots, in standard lots, where each standard lot consists of 1,000 units of whatever currency pair you trade. Yeah. So back to the same example, if you buy one standard lot of euro US dollar, what it means is you buy 100,000 units of euro and then use that to sell US dollars, equivalent number of US dollars. Right? And then of course, in the standard way of trading, the minimum lot size to trade is not one standard lot, but it's a lot smaller, which is 0.01 lot, which translates to only 1,000 units. Yeah. So next slide. Okay, so this is regards to the common order types that you can trade. So either you buy or sell at market rate, or you buy or sell at a pending rate. So either you buy stock, buy limit, or you sell stock and sell limit. Yeah. So the differences between the stock and the limit is depending on whether you want to buy or sell above or below the current market rate as it is live. Okay, next slide. And then the quotation of the currency pairs are also known as a PIP, which is pricing point. Yeah. So for non-Japanese yen pair, the number of pips is expressed in 4 decimal places. So like for example, the euro US dollar, the euro US dollar is 1.19434. This 1.1943 is the PIP, the pricing point. Okay, and then for Japanese yen pair, the pip is expressed in 2 decimal places. So like for example, the US dollar Japanese yen is 105.502. So the 50 there is actually the 2 decimal places that represents the pricing point. Then the last decimal place is a fractional pip, which is 1/10 of a pip. Yeah. So next slide. Okay, so this second last slide, which is the trading hours. So Forex trading is available to trade 24 hours from Monday 5 a.m. all the way to Friday 5 a.m. Singapore time. Yeah, and then across the every day, there's this what you call different banking session. Yeah, so meaning to say this is a session where the country's bank open for the banks themselves to trade, to exchange currency. So like for example, if you look at the slide, the first of the day is Sydney session from 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then it overlaps with the Tokyo session, which is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then this Tokyo session overlaps with the London session from 3 p.m. to 12 a.m. And then this London session overlaps with the New York session from 8 p.m. to the next day 5 a.m. Okay, so some of you who knows traders who trade intraday, or intraday traders, they usually trade around the London session and the New York session, because the London session and the New York session is where there are more trading activities, which means there are more changes in the exchange rate as compared to the Sydney session and the Tokyo session. Yeah. So for more details with regards to this trading section, again, I will share the resources page later slide. So you can find this table of sessions from forexfactory.com, which is where I got the table from. Yeah. So next slide.
Jimmy, just to check with you, what about daylight setting? Does it change anything?
Yes. Almost forgot. So for daylight savings, which is doesn't really apply to us, but it applies to some countries. Like because for some countries, because the sunrise and sunset like 1 hour or earlier or later. So for days with daylight savings, they all will start and end about 1 hour later. Yeah. So when will the daylight savings take effect, and when will it take off the effect? You can find this more on forexfactory.com for more information on when it will turn on and turn off.
Okay, can I also just ask an example? So let's say you say it will be actually pushed later 1 hour, right? Okay. So for example, let's say New York is actually from 8 p.m. to 5 a.m. So does it mean that when the New York changes to 9 p.m. onwards, then it will end at 6 a.m. So will it overlap with Sydney in this case?
So far as from my own trading, no, it doesn't overlap, because when the New York's daylight saving is on, the Sydney's daylight saving is also on. So they both shift 1 hour. So when the daylight saving is on for both, they still will not overlap. Yeah, it's just so nice that after the New York session end, then the Sydney session will start. Yeah, they will never overlap somehow. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Jimmy. Yeah, so yeah.
Yeah. So last but not least, for the bonus section, right? So if you want to know more resources about Forex trading basics, you can go to babypips.com. Babypip is where I think there's a page on where you can have in your own pace, learn about the basics of Forex trading, right? And then also forexfactory.com. Forexfactory.com is more for knowing the banking session, as I shared previously, and also the news that may or may not impact the currency movement. For example, the country's banks' cash rates, the non-farm payrolls, and things like that. Yeah. So more information, you just check out the forexfactory.com. Right. So with that, that is the end of the bonus section. So thank you all viewers for tuning in. We hope you find this valuable for your for foreign exchange in general. So we now move on to the Q&A. So do we have any questions? Let me check. So we have one comment from Julian. That says Forex Factory is can be used to know more about finance related events. For example, FOMC minute. Yes, I agree with you. Yep. You can find the US FOMC minutes announcement from Forex Factory. Yeah, that's true. Thank you.
Okay, for the benefit of the viewers, also me, because I'm really not into Forex. So what is actually FOMC?
It is the minutes. It is the monthly minutes meeting that is organized by the Federal Reserve, whereby every month they will meet up, have a meeting first, and then they sort of have some agreement to the monetary policies that they're going to have for the future, and then they'll write it in minutes, and then they'll announce the minutes of the meeting. Yeah, on forexfactory.com.
Is it the Fed, whether they will increase or decrease or keep the interest rates?
Yes. Whether they will increase the interest rates, decrease interest rates, or keep it on hold, they will specifically note it in the minutes of the meeting, and then they will announce it via forexfactory.com. Yeah.
Okay. So am I right to also say that that time when we heard about they call it the quantity easing period, right? Yeah. So was it also written down in the FOMC?
As far as I remember, they may announce it in the meeting minutes, or they may I can't remember whether there was a time whereby on an ad hoc basis they will announce the rounds of quantitative easing. So for the viewers up there, maybe you can, if you like to, if you have any answers to that question, you can input it in the comments. That will appreciate. So I think Julian did mention that in the meeting minutes, they will give hints on the monetary policies in the US, and they will either increase or decrease the interest rate. Yes, all right. Thanks, Julian.
The most recent one that was impactful was the QE Unlimited, announced on the 23rd of March. So that was announced by the, I think it was a Fed, by the Fed. So it kind of marked the end of the bear and also the start of the bull. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So for my impression, when you talk about QE infinity, right, it means like there's more money supply in the circulation, and then use the money to buy debt or buy treasuries, and then it gets circulated. Yeah. And then if there's more money, and then that means there's more money to spend, like spend on defense spending, spend on stock market. Yeah. So that, well, we can say that it is indirectly a factor in the continual uptrend in the stock market. Yeah. So maybe not. I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think because we are in a very volatile, uncertain, complex and ambiguous economy now. So I don't think anyone have the answer to all this, I think.
Yeah, no one has the crystal ball, right? As in, I mean, you have to get to the. I mean, I think you have to be in the meeting itself, then you know what's going on, I guess. I mean, we are in Singapore, and it's difficult for us to, have access to the FOMC meeting, right? So, I guess. Yeah. Okay. So I got some comments from Michael. Say, the Federal Reserve will usually have press conference after the meeting to discuss what was decided and what they want to communicate with us. Yeah, agree. Yeah, thanks, Michael. They do sometimes have sometimes they do have on ad hoc basis announce changes to the monetary policies. Yeah, I agree. Any questions from your watch party?
No.
Anyone?
No questions from my watch party.
No questions. Any questions from anyone in our Facebook Live? Anyway, thanks, Michael and Julian, for your inputs. I appreciate that. Yeah, I believe both of you also trade Forex, right? Okay, sorry. I think Julian trade Forex, but Michael, maybe not. Yeah.
I think we may have to invite them for kopi session to talk about it.
Maybe one day. Julian, maybe one day we invite you for our Facebook Live if you want. Yeah, okay. Any questions? If not, then I think we are going to end this session. Okay, I think if there's no question, then we end this session.
Maybe we can give a slight teaser of what's going to happen next week.
Okay, right. Okay, so anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. So if you still have questions with regards to foreign exchange or trading in general, feel free to post your questions in the comments and we'll address them during the next episode. So speaking of the next episode, we will have a special guest with us that will be sharing on investment mindset. Yeah. So who is this special guest? We will keep it as a mystery guest, right, to keep you in suspense. Yeah. So who is this special guest? Do tune in our Facebook Live next Friday, right? So next Friday will be JEDi episode 17 on investment part 6. So, okay, so in our last slide, there's this QR code whereby if you scan this QR code, you have access to our landing page whereby you can check out our website, our YouTube channel, and our Telegram channel. For our Telegram channel, you have access to the resale insurance policies that we have. If you want to know more details about the policies we have in our list, do connect with us on Telegram channel and we will get back to you. So if you like our content and be notified for future episodes, do like our page and share this post. We will see you next Friday, and may the finances be with you. Okay, goodbye. Okay, I'm going to end this stream.